This episode of the Off Road Podcast is sponsored by Warren, Power Tank, and Medical Gear Outfitters.
Off-Road Podcast, episode 299, Rigs We Want to Make a Comeback.
Tonight, Aaron buys another engine. Jeremy's garage is about to be full, and Coy gets hot.
Welcome to the Off-Road Podcast, a podcast about everything off-road. We cover the news, review products, and interview people in the off-road industry. I'm your host, Jeremy, tonight, and I'm here with my co-host, Aaron, and as returning as always, Coy, and the host of the Horsepower Hour podcast. How'd you like that hard cut? The Weekend Review is brought to you by Medical Gear Outfitters. What are you waiting for? Are you waiting to have a casualty on the trail? Check out medicalgearoutfitters.com to get straightened out. Medical Gear Outfitters has everything you need, whether you're going out for the day or traveling on a year-long expedition. Head over there to get off-road specific kits that meet all of your needs. And while you're there, make sure you use Off-Road Podcast for 10% off. I just thought that was a perfect segue. That cut from that music was so hard that I feel like we all need a first aid kit to patch up the bleed.
Yeah, you had to patch that up because you cut it hard. Yeah, I get it.
Some of those listeners are probably bleeding out right now. You guys do
Their
that?
ears are probably bleeding listening to you talk.
I know. It's not good.
Listen to that dangerous segue.
Well, we'll start with Aaron tonight. Aaron, what have you been up to?
Excuse my my Rona cough. I'm really hoping it's not that. I can still taste things, so pretty sure it's not the Rona. I got a little bit of time over the weekend to work on the Nissan Titan. Good news. I pulled the spark plugs and was able to rotate the flywheel and get it to go all the way around multiple times. So I put the spark plugs back in and put the coil-on plug covers on it, and it turned over, but it has always indicated it's out of fuel ever since I bought it. So I went and got 5 gallons of gas and dumped 5. I got it on a level surface. It wasn't level. Got it level, dumped 5 gallons of gas in and just let it crank for about 5 minutes. And it didn't even hesitate. Like, it didn't even want to start. It didn't even think about starting. It just was not interested. So today I threw in the towel and I bought another engine from a wrecking yard. They're going to pull it out of a running truck today or tomorrow. And thankfully, it's only 260 some miles from me. So it's not that far. And it turns out that it's right next door to a town that I have a really good friend who lives like next door to this town. And he's coming to visit me this week. So he's going to bring it with him. Isn't that right, Jeremy?
Yes, I am.
So, yeah, I couldn't have planned that any better. So, and it was like one of the lowest mileage engines for sale and at a very reasonable price. Some of those auto wreckers wanted over $2,000 for a running engine. So pretty happy that I got what I did.
Did you check and make sure there isn't a impact fuel pump fuse or reset on that truck?
Nope.
I mean, before you pay for the engine, you might check.
Yeah.
I know some cars hit them too hard, the fuel pump shuts off.
Yeah, that's good. It's a good point. I've never seen one anywhere. I don't know where it would be. That's like totally a 90s
it's
thing.
A mid-90s thing, but
yeah.
I just when you said it, that's what popped into my mind.
Yeah. But I mean, if they really did, I mean, how do they run it out of gas? How do they get it all the way down to 0 gallons of gas? I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, I got a Titan and Jeremy's going to bring it down to my house. How come you're bringing it to my house, Jeremy? What are you coming to visit me for?
Go shooting.
Yeah, to go shooting.
Of course.
You guys have ammo?
Stretch out that 6.5 Creedmoor again. Well, yeah. You do precision shooting, so you don't shoot that much.
That's right. You can get like three.
You might not. You haven't seen my precision.
Yes, I have actually. You came to the shoot. I have.
I'm my precision is through overwhelming firepower. Like I just
I mean, I guess technically I could do that because my 6.5 Creedmoor is a AR-10 platform, not a bolt action.
Does it use 308 mags or does it use special mags or?
It uses 308 mags.
Oh, so I wonder if you could use one of those 50 round drum mags.
Ooh, yeah, sounds expensive.
Yeah, $2 a pop.
Not the mag.
The ammo would cost more than the mag
I think so. Yeah.
to fill it up,
That would.
or it'd be close. I think I paid 110 for the one that I have.
It'd be pretty close to about the same.
I like Brent's comment here. He says, I used to mess with my fellow mechanics at Ford by hitting the inertia switch when they weren't looking.
that's classic.
That is, yeah. Well, what else you got going on, Jeremy?
Well, my axles have finally shipped, and they should be here. Wow, I mean, I was expecting to get a phone call from FedEx to figure out when to drop them off today, but that didn't happen. So maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow.
We'll see. So yeah, I'm excited. The axles are on their way, and hopefully I can get this Jeep back up and running soon. So I got to put the axles. I got to put the axles in.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to get the 40s, and so I'm probably going to start the break-in process on my 35s just because they're already mounted. I need to get the 40s, get them mounted, and then measure the steering clearances for the RAM, and then order the RAM, replace the steering box, install the RAM, all that jazz, and then figure out my tire carrier. And so I think I'm just going with a new rear bumper.
Does the clearances for the RAM make a difference if you're on 40s versus 35s?
Yes, it does.
So you'll have to put those on so that you can measure, so you
Yeah,
can move forward.
exactly. Well, I'll need to measure and adjust the steering stops most likely, from 35s to 40s, and so then you want your RAM to not over travel, because if you over travel, you can either blow out the seals on the RAM, or you can go ahead. Is my mic hooked up? Am I pretty quiet today?
You are kind of quiet, but I thought maybe you're just a little farther away from your mic than normal. You got a little louder there when you asked that question.
Okay. Well, am I too loud now?
No, that's perfect.
Okay. So yeah, you don't want to blow the oil out of the seals on the on either the RAM, or you can start breaking other steering components if your RAM is traveling further than the rest of your steering components.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to measure first, and then just to make sure that they set it up right before they ship it to me.
Gotcha.
So you come into Moab on the 35s or the 40s then?
Well, I don't know if I'm going to Moab or not. We'll find
Just
out.
saying, you start thinking about it. Just, depending if it works out, you need to have this planned.
I mean, in theory, I could go out. If I was going to go to Moab, I would be going on 40s.
Well, the people you're with are going to be on 35, so it might be better.
Yeah, we'll see. How about you, Coy? What have you been up to?
I haven't been up to a lot. I did light 3 slash piles at my house on fire on Easter. So 10 gallons of diesel and some singed
10?
hair later. Well, there's 3
10?
separate piles.
Okay, well, but still, that's 3.3 gallons per.
Well, it's still pretty green wood.
Okay,
and
all right, okay.
I wanted to make sure it was going to go. So, yeah, so that was a pretty good time.
I'd say that's making sure it's going to go.
I've tried to light the one twice, and it would just burn the green needles off and then stop. So it's pretty green. A lot of it's from the ice storm we had not too long ago, and the rest was from when I logged last fall. So pretty green stuff. But yeah, finally got some of that burned down, so I'm pretty stoked about that. Did a little work in my shop.
I did a burn pile on Saturday. I only used a gallon and a half of gas. I didn't use diesel though, so I used gas. So I didn't need as much.
Yeah. Just makes sense. So
What did you do in your shop? Were you
I was working on finishing running my airline around.
You just
running
throw it over your shoulder and do laps.
Yeah. Like one of those fireman ladder carries, but just
Yes.
around my So yeah, not too much, to be honest.
Why don't I see the review one? It went away.
It's lower. We're not to that section yet.
No.
You could have live read it by now.
I know. Hey guys, we're looking to reach more listeners. We're going to start by reading Apple iTunes reviews on the air. If you hear yours, send us a message with your address and we'll send you an off-road podcast sticker. You can find all of our social media by just searching our name. Now go hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, you're right. It's been deleted from our video clips.
Yeah. It threw me off there for a second.
Oh, it's probably Ben. Ben's messing with us.
He's not here, so we can blame him.
Right? We're gonna throw him under the bus all night long.
So this week's review is I didn't write down who it was from, but it's titled "My Favorite Podcast." It was 5 stars. It says, "Thanks for all the podcasts. Since I do not get out as much as often as I would like, you guys scratch the itch for me. I drive a lot for work and have listened to every single one of your podcasts now. I can't begin to tell you how many hours of enjoyment you have brought me, and I'm so glad I discovered it. I'm greatly appreciative of all the information and tips on off-roading and camping. After all my listening, I feel much better equipped to head out into the wilderness when I do get the chance. Keep the podcast coming. Thanks again."
Someone from our Facebook fan group says, does Jeremy get more dollars when he reads them live? Yeah, each time he does it live, we double his pay.
Yep.
Exactly twice as much to live read it.
And when I make a mistake, I owe them twice my pay.
Yeah. Did you read the name yet?
It's Thamazalong.
Thank you. I'm glad you tried it because I was
Thamazalong.
Yeah, to me it looked like Thelma's thong or something.
I hope Thamazalong isn't taking you guys too seriously as far as being prepared to go in the wilderness.
Some of us.
Yeah. The people on the show today, you're good. If it's Ben.
Well, honestly, I think he's
prepared.
He's got the equipment to be prepared.
Yeah.
I think it would be better to say he has survived so far.
Yeah.
But did he die?
Nope, he did not die.
Hasn't died yet.
Also, we want to thank our sponsor, Patriot Patch. Head over to patriotpatch.co and check out their selection of great patches, shirts, cleaning mat, signs, and stickers. In fact, I need to get in contact with him and get myself a cleaning mat. I did a bunch of gun cleaning over the weekend and had to use like paper towels to set all my stuff on. I've got a couple of their mats. I don't know, since I've moved, I haven't been able to find them anywhere. So you can also join their Patch of the Month Club, and you get this Wascally Wabbit Thumper. You get a patch matching sticker and artist proof each month for just $15. So check them out. I actually just got mine today in the mail. There it is. Boom. And what's cool is it's been half a year or so, but Ryan, when he's been doing the stickers, there's a little, it's hard to, there we go. I don't know. He's got some more definition on the stickers that you can't get with the patch. So it's pretty neat that he's done that. Check him out, Patriot Patch.
Power Tank, the ultimate mobile onboard air system for performance, versatility, and reliability. They are your source for all air-related accessories. Check them out at powertank.com.
Coy, did you get a chance to? I'm going to throw you under the bus here. Did you get a chance to look at our news yet this week?
The Bronco Warthog stuff I looked at, the 25 best off-road games, I did not.
Oh, that was the one I put this one in here because I was hoping that you would you'd grab a hold of this one. So I'm not going to read through all 25. I might, but I'm probably not going to read through all 25 of them. I'm going to just hit some notable ones here. I'm still scrolling. There's one called Dakar 18, which never heard of. I've heard of the Dakar, but I didn't know that this was a game. This looks like a fun game. I mean, Dakar Rally is epic. That would be a fun one to check out. There's another one called Off Road Drive that looks pretty legit as well. I don't get to play many video games nowadays. Man, I got a lot of pop-up ads on this website. If you
Some
go
of these
through this
like
link,
cell phone games.
some of them are cell phone games, yes. There's one called Pure Rock Crawling. That one looks pretty sweet as well, but
Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, that's the
So-
one I liked.
I mean,
I did no off-roading then. I mean, technically maybe a little, but most of it was airborne.
so I haven't played Grand Theft Auto 5, but back in the day when I played Grand Theft Auto 3, all the versions of Grand Theft Auto 3, I did tons of off-roading in that game. And not just like driving the car on the grass to get away from the cops. Like there was definitely terrain, and in San Andreas there was a lot of stuff to do in that. So
I spent a lot of time like seeing how many containers I could jump, and technically you're not on the road, so that's a form of off-roading.
off-road, you were overlanding?
I am literally off the road and overland. Sometimes
Overland, yeah. They've got spin tires on here, which was the original very detailed like
I wanna
off-road
like spin
simulator.
tires so bad. But I cannot.
Well, so Spin Tires was the original one, and then they made Spin Tires Mud Runner,
Oh.
and then they made Snow Runner. Yeah,
I want to
So-
like all those. I have Mud Runner and Snow Runner, and I just hate them so much.
it's tough. I mean, I would like to try to play it with some other folks to see what online play is like, but
I've heard that if you have a computer so you can do all the mods and stuff, it's a lot better. And if you have like a wheel, so you have force feedback stuff. But
it is hard to drive in a straight line in Mud Runner on a flat paved road.
no, it's just hard to drive.
I will say Snow Runner is way better than Mud Runner, which is better than Spin Tires as far as the drivability goes. So, anyways, I feel like there's quite a few games that didn't make this list, although I can't think of them off the top of my head. That sounds like a terrible cop out, but there's a lot of stuff in this list. Yeah, a lot of stuff on the list. Moving on to our next article, the Bronco Warthog. I also threw this one in here, Coy, for you because you kind of dropped the breaking news to me that that it was even called the Warthog. I had never heard that anywhere, and you kind of brought that to the table.
Use my insider contacts on the internet.
On the
By just
internet.
by Googling way too much.
Eric says, does Ben end up in a ditch in wheeling games also?
If you're playing Spin Tires, Mud Runner, or Snow Runner, you are never not in a ditch.
Yeah. And usually you're flopped over on your side.
Yeah.
So
For a half second when you get on the road, you're like, yay, and then you hit traction understeer into the ditch on the other side. It's wildly frustrating.
yeah.
I don't know why I punish myself by playing those games.
Overwheel Bound says Snow Runner is the off-roader game you want to check out. So I do completely agree. You do want to check it out. You want to see what it's about. Try it out.
Absolutely. I think we all love that on the show.
Yep. So the Bronco Warthog, this has got some spy shots going on, and it looks It looks beefcake. I'm sorry, I'm pulling it up here. I didn't have it pulled up earlier, but you can totally see the fender flares on this thing. It's got a way wider track than the regular Bronco does.
You
It's
guys
got
see the Broncos at Easter Jeep Safari last week or whenever?
Oh, that just touched my heart so much. It made me so happy when they party
I,
crashed.
I can't. It excites me on such a deep level. I felt like Cruella de Vil picking up the Dalmatians. That's where I was at.
I mean, they just rolled them so hard, and like I'm pretty sure it was you before talking about that guy in the Wrangler who got stuck on the dirt bike trail in California. That Ford reached out to him. Oh, it would have been just awesome if he would have agreed to let Ford. I would have loved to see what those marketing guys would have done if he would have said yes. Yeah, go ahead and help me recover my Jeep.
I hopefully they would have pushed his just picked his Jeep up with a helicopter, but dropped off a Bronco.
That would have been so awesome. That would have been so awesome. Unfortunately, the Bronco's not ready, so they couldn't really have just given him a Bronco. But
could have.
Technically. So it's still under camo here, but you can totally see how it's much wider. They've got some serious fender flares poking off of it. The article mentions that it's got larger front coilovers that are even bigger than the ones that are on the Ranger Raptor, and they compare it to the Ranger Raptor because I believe it's on the same platform as the Ford Ranger. Do you guys know about that?
I did not realize that it was on the same platform as the Ranger Raptor.
I think, well, I shouldn't say Ranger Raptor, but the Ranger in general. I think that they share a platform.
So I'm going to throw this out there and you tell me how excited you are. So the Ranger Raptor in Australia is a 300 horsepower turbo diesel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's trying to decide what's going to be in the Bronco Warthog. What if it is the Ranger Raptor souped up diesel?
It won't be. There's no way that they'll throw a diesel in it.
Wow. Fun police.
I'm realistic about what these guys, I mean, it took Jeep forever to throw a diesel in theirs. And we'll see how long that lasts. I mean, everybody says that they're going to buy one, but then nobody I mean, Chevy Colorado, everybody says they're going to buy a diesel and hardly anybody does.
Well, everybody says they're going to buy one, but they don't realize they're $10,000 more.
The Nissan Titan with the Cummins diesel. I mean, who wouldn't want a truck with a Cummins in it? And now they've discontinued the Cummins engine because there was not enough sales. So, yeah, I don't know.
I will say, whoever in Ford is in charge of the marketing that's going on right now, and the way they've fed a constant stream of Bronco, just enough to keep everyone interested, just to re-excite everyone 3 weeks with little details in between. They should get a job doing whatever kind of marketing they want. Like they've shown how good they are now, right?
Yeah, and literally, there's Bronco news. It feels like there's been Bronco news at minimum of every 10 days for
a year and a half.
Yeah, for a year and a half. Yep.
Yeah, they've done a really good job of kind of leaking it out here and there.
Yeah, exactly.
Go prepared with Warren Industries. They produced the first recreational winch in 1959 and lead the industry with their dedication to quality and reliability. When you dig yourself in deep, make sure you have the right tools to get yourself out. Get Warren equipped and go where others can't. Now, let's get ready for adventure and head into our main topic.
So over the main topic commercial there, we got a whole bunch of comments. Overwheel Bound says that he's got a buddy with a diesel Wrangler on 40s and he still gets 22 mpg and he's really impressed with it. Eric says that Speaking of a solid game, Koi's backgrounds are always on point. They definitely are. He had to change his T-shirt before the show because his background was so on point.
Yeah.
Legacy Outdoors Family Adventure says that Nissan NV is the way to go. Glad we got ours when we did. That thing is a beast. They say theirs is a tank. And then Cliff says that he wants the Ford marketing people to promote his overlanding/gun store when he gets it open. So, Chad, let us know about this overlanding gun store. That sounds like, I think you should be like gun store, overlanding, and pie or something like that. It would be like the ultimate.
Question. Does
Beef
the gun
jerky.
store set up in a different place every day? Is that why it's an overlanding gun store?
I'm pretty sure that's illegal. Number one.
Not
I think
having
you're just an arms dealer at that point. I'm not sure.
Yeah. If you're overlanding and selling guns at the same time, you're an arms
I
dealer.
think that means
That
you're
would-
an after selling to a warlord, but I'm not.
That-
I'm not 100% sure.
That would make a great Instagram channel.
Overland arms dealer.
Yes.
We're starting a new podcast, everyone.
Oh man. We're gonna have to move to his name is Chad also. So maybe he is in Africa. I was gonna say we're gonna have to move to Chad. So I think that's where all arms dealers start out.
I start out or end up?
I was gonna say one or the other.
Yeah, one or the other. Oh man. We'll have to reach out to some arms dealers, see if we can do an episode on arms dealers.
As long as you don't tell them where we live.
Maybe they want to sponsor us, Jeremy.
Lots of money to be
Are you-
made there.
Are you a felon? Do you need a firearm? Contact Chad. Yeah,
Chad's
ham radio.
An arms
This-
dealer.
Chad's slogan is "I'll bring your guns to you."
No, I'll meet you where the ATF can't find us.
High points
it,
on
like-
the side of the highway.
7 miles out and you're in international waters. Nothing's illegal out there.
Well, piracy.
Is it illegal? I mean, it's international. Who's in charge?
I think it's still illegal,
Yeah.
but they got to catch you.
Yeah. Well, there's a little rabbit hole for you. Our main topic tonight is rigs we want to make a comeback. So I did some asking around to some different people about what rigs they'd like to see. I've got a bunch of my own. Koi went bonkers with his stuff. So I think we got a really thorough list of rigs that somebody wants to make a comeback, whether it's me or someone else. Most of these would be on my list, honestly, though. So the first one is a Mitsubishi Montero, and you got a picture of a 3rd gen one right here. And this one, I've seen this exact picture probably for 10 years. Maybe not 10 years, but a long time. I've seen this one online, probably at least 7 years. This one, from what I understand, you can put 35s on these trucks without lifting them because of how generous the fender wells are on them. They've got like a traction control system on them that acts like lockers. They came from the factory. I think the Montero is one of the first rigs that came from the factory with air lockers. Got a center diff locker in these guys, a rear E locker, I believe, in the 3rd gens, and a really robust engine. So, and lots of space too, but they didn't catch on like Toyota's caught on. So they kind of went by the wayside in the States, but they're still a really cool rig all around. And they use them in lots of other countries. You guys have any thoughts on the Montero?
I like Monteros. I have heard that since they're kind of made for other countries, their highway speeds are not so good. But that's the only complaint I've ever heard about them. is that they don't like to do 70 miles an hour all the time.
I gotcha. Oh, I think I heard that they had some really deep factory gears in some of them as well. So maybe that substantiates what you're talking about, Coy.
Mhm.
The next one here is the Isuzu Trooper. I don't know much about Isuzu Troopers. Do you guys know anything about Isuzu Troopers?
I know a little to none, but I do know that there are some diesel versions of these running around. They're hideously underpowered, but they're still diesel, so that's cool.
Yeah. These, I believe, have a pretty good cult following, and they're just like a budget Land Cruiser. In
Cherokee.
fact, well, is anything a budget Cherokee?
Well, maybe a Cherokee's a budget trooper. I don't know. There, everybody I know that has an Isuzu is a Cherokee guy, so I assumed they were in the same vein.
Possibly. Someone asked about the Montero, if there's any aftermarket. There is some aftermarket, not much for the Monteros. It's pretty slim, although the one I shared a picture of said Arctic trucks on the front grill of it, or on the license plate holder. So I know that the Arctic Trucks company made like oversized fenders for them so they could put those giant balloon tires on them and drive them around Iceland.
There's a pretty decent aftermarket, just not in America, so you got to order your parts from elsewhere.
That's true. My friend who had one had to have a bunch of stuff shipped in from Australia for his.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But that's why you got to buy yourself a welder and a grinder and cut off discs and make your own stuff.
Built, not bought.
That's it. Hashtag built, not bought. So I'm going to move on from the Trooper because I don't really know what else to say about it. So we've got the Xterra. We talked about this a month or so back in the news about how dealers are begging Nissan to bring this truck back. It's essentially the same as the Nissan Frontier, just a shorter wheelbase, same chassis, same engine, same four-wheel drive system, but it's just a short little SUV, and they're super capable. I was just talking to a friend late last week, and he has a friend who has one, and they went down to the Rubicon, and he said that little thing was doing everything that everybody else was doing. So pretty impressed with it. And I've been very impressed with my Frontier as well.
I had a friend with a second gen Xterra, and we went snow camping and wheeling. It was on all terrains, and it went pretty much everywhere he pointed it. And these were available in manual transmissions, if that's your jam. So we've had a 6-speed manual in those.
6-speed, yep. And you could get the manual with the off-road package as well.
That's what he had. It's actually a 350Z transmission in those, I guess, with a transfer case on it.
Oh, really? Interesting.
So I didn't realize that those things had stadium seating in them. So where the rear seats are higher than the front seats.
Yeah.
And that's why they have that funny roof shape.
Yeah, it's bumped up just a little bit.
Yep.
And the Pathfinder, I think the Pathfinder is... Does the Pathfinder have a bumped up roof? I'm not sure. Of the same generation. I can't remember. Brent says the Xterra has quite the following. Really surprised they haven't brought it back, and we are too, or at least I am. Cliff says that they had a solid axle swapped one at the Moore Overland Expo.
All right, Aaron, get on it.
I specifically chose this Xterra because of its, when I was going through the pictures, because of its color. If I was ever going to paint my Frontier, this would be the color I'd paint it. I love this color green.
Oh, I thought it was orange.
They made some orange.
Well, Jeremy's colorblind, so that doesn't help.
I am.
Are you legit colorblind?
Define legit. Like, I am legit colorblind, but I see color still.
Like, when your wife is asking what color to paint the walls, are you colorblind?
Oh
or
god,
like
yeah.
you couldn't be a pilot colorblind.
I couldn't be a pilot colorblind, which I really wanted to.
Couldn't be an electrician colorblind.
That is also true.
Such a you're a nerd, you're colorblind, you're an engineer.
Yep.
Stuff's really stacking up against you.
I mean, the color blindness was really what forced me into it because I always wanted to be a Navy pilot, and then I couldn't do that. So
Do you
uh,
call them
We-
blueprints? Do you call them blueprints, or are they just black and white prints?
they're just drawings.
I do like when people are able to blame like that on one little thing. Like I always wanted to be a Navy SEAL, but I have flat feet, so I couldn't do it. Like that was the barrier to entry.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
I mean, I also have terrible eyesight, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, I want to be a Navy SEAL too, but I've got this heritage thing in my family where we get ingrown toenails. Yeah, just
Yeah.
wasn't gonna cut it.
Yeah, I have a bone spur on the back of my hand. Back
That's
to the
not a bone-
Xteras though.
It's not a bone spur.
Back to the Xteras though. You think, well, if the new Xterra is based, if they made a new Xterra and it would be based on the new Frontier, it would just be a Frontier. Yeah,
Yeah, the front. Yeah,
it's like space, the final frontier.
Frontier.
But yeah, it's gonna look literally just like a Forerunner now.
Yeah, but at least it's competition. Like, I mean, there's a lot of ways where the Bronco is kind of just the Wrangler redesigned, but hey, at least it's more unique stuff out there, more things to choose from.
absolutely.
No, I mean, I agree, but I don't know if
So-
we need a Wish.com Forerunner.
We got some more comments here. Overall Bound says, feeling the colorblind struggle. I had a bedroom with pink walls as a teenager, but they looked white to me. Took a while before anyone told me so.
I feel
That's
your pain
awesome.
there.
Yep. Kevin Wood says, check out Flexterra on Instagram. It's a solid axle monster. And Legacy Outdoors Family Adventure says, 11 years ago, we were looking at Xterras. Sorry, I just had to look to see what year it was because I couldn't remember. I was trying to figure out when 11 years ago was. So that would be in 2010, for all those out there doing the math. When we found our GX 470. Great rigs. Nissan is missing the boat on these right now. Rogue Overland has some legit builds. And yes, Rogue Overland does have some pretty sweet Nissan rigs, including Xterras. So I think we had them on a long time ago. Maybe it's time to reach back out to them.
Flexterra is such a good Instagram handle.
Flexterra.
It sounds like an energy drink, but it still sounds great.
Oh boy.
Flexterra 5000.
Well, the next one here is the ever popular Suzuki Sidekick. You guys know anybody who has a Sidekick?
I know one person, and it's the one in the picture.
He doesn't have that anymore.
I know other people that have had those, but they weren't off-roading them, and they were girls.
Were they also teal?
No, they weren't teal.
Okay.
Brent wants to know if Flexterra was Koi's stage name.
It was a name, but I didn't use it on stage. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah. Is that how you got your bone spur in your hand? And
Somebody got
Patrick says he loves his Xterra so much he bought a second one.
That's usually a good sign.
Got to have
Yeah.
a parts for
That's a nice segue, Mac. Mac says, where's the Sidekick Ben? So Mac just joined us. He missed earlier where we talked about Ben camping in a ditch this weekend. So yeah, Suzuki Sidekick is it's a popular little rig. They used to be super inexpensive, but they kind of got popular, and I don't think you can touch a decent one for under $4,000 nowadays. And they've got a cult following and some aftermarket support for sure. A lot of different things you can do to them. People do tons of engine swaps and stuff in them too. And since we're talking about sidekicks, let's talk about the samurai, the little brother of the sidekick. What do you think about those, Koi?
I love those so much. I'm actually a pretty big samurai fan.
Would you fit in one?
I don't fit in it, I wear it.
That's like he's a big samurai fan. Okay, terrible joke.
Yeah.
The thing that I thought was pretty cool about, well, pretty interesting fact is the original sale price on those was like $6,500, and they're currently selling for like 7,000 to 10,000 for a pretty mint one.
Yeah, if they're minty, they go for a lot of money, especially the ones they call the tin tops, where they don't have a convertible top; it's just all metal roof.
I became a fan of these. One of my old companies I worked for, the two guys that owned the company with near unlimited funds, were huge snow wheelers, and one of them had a tin top samurai that he'd completely built only for snow wheeling, but it just ran 35-inch tires, and he had it super low geared and like a heavier flywheel. And then the other guy had a cut down Chevy Truggy with like Rockwell all wheel steer, and that samurai, and it was on 30. That Chevy Truggy was on 39s, I believe, and that's Samurai on 35s went everywhere he did, and sometimes places he wouldn't. So it was wildly impressive.
When you're in a samurai on 35s, though, that's like a Wrangler on like 42s or something.
It is, but when you're in a Truggy and you're stuck, and Samurai on 35 just drives around you, like, can you imagine how angrily you'd be running your all-wheel steer and screaming and cursing?
Yeah. Well, the next one I'd like to see come back is the Chevy Trailblazer or the Chevy Blazer, depending on which vintage it is.
But wait, didn't it come back? You mean
Yeah.
oh, you mean actually
Yes.
come back in spirit?
Yes. So yeah, you're making a good point, Jeremy. It did come back. So this one shouldn't be on the list because it did come back, but it should be on the list because it came back as a mommy mobile, total soccer mobile. And I think that the newest version of the Blazer looks kind of neat, but it's a street rig. They need to make a
It's the low
they need to
income
make
housing version of a Blazer.
yeah. They need to make a body on frame full sized rig like the Bronco. I would love for Chevy to step up and take on the Bronco. That would just be just amazing.
So I've actually heard talk that's in the works.
Is that through your contacts or the internet?
My Ford contacts, yeah.
Yeah.
His name's Google.
You could have at
Yeah.
least called him Google A.
Google A.
Michael
Google,
A.
French Google.
This is a pretty hot looking Bronco in this picture. It's got a removable top. And honestly, I wouldn't be upset if they had like the S10 Blazer as well. If that made a comeback. If they made like because how Ford's doing the Explorer Sport, if they made a Blazer Sport that was intended for the car campers and waterfall hikers, those kind of people, I think that'd be great. Next one here, Koi. You may have heard of this.
I've heard of these, yeah.
Yeah. They aren't very good, but I guess they've got a pretty decent following. Something about having lights in their mirrors. The FJ Cruiser, the Toyota FJ Cruiser. So this is a really recent vehicle, and everything I've read, maybe Koi, you can lend some comment to this. Everything I've read is that they've canceled or they discontinued it because it was cutting into their 4Runner sales.
It was cutting into their 4Runner sales, and since it was a little bit redundant because of the 4Runner, maybe not to the off-roader point of view, but to Toyota's point of view, and it was hurting their, I can't remember what it's called, the average fuel mileage.
The
I can't remember what
the cafe fuel economy standards. Yeah.
So by cutting that rig, that actually bumped their cafe standard quite a bit. And if we're being totally honest, FJ Cruisers do not get good gas mileage, like 20 on a good day. So,
Yeah.
and the manual version of these were full-time 4-wheel drive, so those were even worse.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, all actually pretty much I think all Land Cruisers that have pretty much ever been built have been full-time 4-wheel drive.
Well, a couple interesting facts about the FJ Cruiser. It's got 3 windshield wipers. I think
Yes.
every off-road vehicle should have 50% more wipers.
Wait, are you including one on the back?
Four
No,
in total.
four total. Yeah, so it's got 3 on the windshield. And Coy informed me that the FJ Cruiser has the highest resale value currently of any vehicle on the market. Period.
In a used vehicle.
Any used vehicle.
Does
That's
that include like, you know?
not supercars.
Oh, okay.
Not the highest compared to what they're bought for. So there's
Wait, but I still feel like there might be some super collectible cars out there that
Like
probably
Ferrari,
or like,
Enzo, or
you know, Shelby's.
yeah,
yeah, I mean,
maybe for any car under $100,000.
yeah, I don't know what the thing is, but according to Google, that's what you'll find. Another cool thing that
Oh, your internet friend again.
yeah, another cool thing about FJ Cruisers that I have found out myself, and I don't have any signs to back this up, but the front windshield is so straight up and down, it doesn't frost nearly nearly as bad as most vehicles with a more horizontal windshield.
Interesting.
I've noticed that on it. My wife's car will be frosted over. Mine will just have light frost, like regularly. So
That's super interesting, but it does take stone chips like no other.
I made it. That's a big complaint of them. I made it till when was it? When I'm on my Alvord trip last. No, I made it till our Nevada trip last year, and on my way down, I got a stone chip on a gravel road that had been like chip sealed, and the car coming towards me was doing like 60 on the gravel, and I got one. And I've had mine since 2012, so I've had it a while. And yes,
How-
they do have blind spots, but I drive a dump truck all day, so I actually know what real blind spots are. So that doesn't bother me, but there are people that don't know how to use their mirrors that the blind spots are they're a deal breaker for some.
It's the
Yeah.
same people that complain when you pack the rig all the way up to the ceiling when you're going camping.
So keeping along with the FJ theme, Coy threw in the FJ 45 pickup truck, old
Mhm.
school cruiser pickup. How do you see this coming to market nowadays? What would this look like?
I want them to put it out just like it is in this photo.
That would
Okay.
be fine.
That's what I
I
want.
mean, it would have to be a Toyota version of a Jeep Gladiator, honestly.
Well, it would probably come out as an Avalanche.
That's I will give Toyota one thing. Anything that says Land Cruiser in it, they don't it may
That's
not be
true.
what you want, but it's not bad.
That's
So
true.
if they did bring back the Land Cruiser pickup, it may not be what you want, but it's not gonna be, it's not gonna be an Avalanche.
It's not gonna be a Honda Ridgeline.
It's not gonna be a
Won't be
Honda
the-
Ridgeline or a new Trailblazer.
Yeah, that's true. So when I see this, I see the Mahindra. Mahindra was trying to bring a truck just like this to the United States, a little single cab with a small bed, about this size, and then there was some sort of something went sideways, and then they ended up not bringing it. So
Well,
If
if
they-
they did bring one of these, I may cash in my crazy FJ Cruiser resale and upgrade.
And pay cash for that new baby.
Yeah.
yeah. It would be cool to see some other rigs compete with the Jeep Gladiator. I would love to see some serious competition for that.
I honestly
Maybe the
think that we'll
Bronco.
see. I think we'll see more of that. Obviously, the Bronco. There's going to be a Bronco pickup, I've heard, or a pickup version of a Bronco. So
That's
I
crazy.
think
That's crazy to think that they would do that with them having this new tiny Maverick coming out, which is like a um, unibody pickup, and then they've got the Ranger, and then the F-150, and then on up from the F-150. It's crazy that they would slot one in there.
I don't think it'll be a real pickup. It'll just be a Bronco with no trunk space and 2 foot of bed type thing.
Wasn't that the Explorer Sport Track?
Yeah,
A
yeah,
Bronco
something
Sport
like
Track?
that.
Oh,
I
we
feel
need someone to Photoshop a Bronco Sport Track.
if I someday end up with one of those, I will get Sport Track emblems and put on it. It would just be good.
Well, that's kind of like the Hummer H2 SUT. And that had like a 3.5 foot or 4 foot bed on that. Essentially, they
Yeah,
just got rid of the wagon and enclosed it and made a bed.
I have a feeling that's how the Bronco truck will be.
Yeah, that would make sense. It would be terrible. Terrible. Well, the next one I'm super excited about. I would love for someone to resurrect the International Scout nameplate and do it justice. This would be another good one to compete with the Bronco.
I have a buddy that recently resurrected one of these, and it's amazing. He completely restored it, got a wrecked JK, put it on the JK frame, and then come and swapped it.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's where it should
that's
be.
that's sweet.
That's a great idea.
It looks nice, and I guess it drives down the road like a modern
A,
vehicle.
a modern vehicle, yeah.
One of
Well,
the worst modern vehicles, road handling, but I mean modern-ish.
but then
Yeah.
you also have all the bolt-on components for the JK market. You could do all
Exactly.
the suspension and drivetrain and everything.
Yeah. I I hope some people do some of that similar resto mod stuff with the new Bronco chassis as well. That would be slick. You know how they make crate motors if Ford was selling crate chassis.
Just order up Bronco frames.
Yeah. Oh
If
man.
maybe Broncos would be like the new Corvettes, like where people just rip the body off and just they use them like the Indians use a buffalo. Just every part goes to something else.
Every part gets used. Yeah.
Yeah, every part gets used in some kind of kit car resto mod thing.
This one I threw up here, the Willys Jeep.
Willis?
Willis. What are you talking about, Willis?
No, that's how it's pronounced.
Is it really?
I want
It
to punch you so bad.
It is really pronounced. His name was pronounced Willis.
Yeah, but it said Willie's on the side of the truck.
Is there an apostrophe there?
Oh, you're saying, I see what you're saying.
Willys. Willys.
Willis.
I have it. It's misspelled here in our pictures here, but I think it would be cool if Jeep brought a small Jeep that wasn't the current lineup of small Jeeps.
Absolutely. But with a
That's
real roll cage in it.
Yeah.
I think
True,
those are
yes.
called side by sides, though.
So okay, well then maybe Jeep just needs to make their own side by side and compete with Mahindra's Roxor.
I mean, if you actually ever look at one of the old Willis Jeeps, they're smaller than some side by sides. Like they're tiny.
Yeah. That's why. I mean, it'd be interesting. I'd have to Google it, but I would be interested to see what size these are compared to a Samurai. I wonder if a Samurai is bigger than this.
I can't say I've ever seen one of them.
Side by side.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
It's
But
going
these-
to be pretty close.
These were super capable, not because they had amazing traction control and lockers and things. They were just lightweight and had torque, and they just would go small, lightweight, and torque. Yeah, I think they'd be awesome if Jeep brought a legit small truck back. I should have had this one segued after the Blazer, but the Dodge Ram Charger, another full-sized Bronco competitor that should come back.
If it does come back, they need a lead with an SRT 4 version with a Hellcat motor, you know,
SRT 8.
or SRT 8. Yeah,
You
sorry.
said SRT 4. I'm like, where are you going? That's not a
For
good choice.
SRT 4x4. Ah,
There you go. Yeah.
yeah, just yeah, that would be amazing.
Someone says too many safety requirements these days for a lot of these to be approved for road use without pretty much doubling the weight. And I know that is a big deal. They've got to have all these crash standards and stuff like that.
Look, I'm not looking for full production. I'm looking for like the homologation specials where they just
you-
make enough so that they can run them in Baja.
There you go. Yeah. Made in Baja for Baja.
Yeah, they just have to make 334 or whatever, so it's considered a production vehicle, and then they just race all of them, and if you're lucky, you get one.
Yeah. This one, the Ram Charger would be great. They could use a mid-sized truck platform just like Ford's doing, and they could do a lot of stuff with it. I'm shocked that when the Bronco was announced that that Chevy and Dodge weren't already planning something.
My fear is that it would just be a Durango trim package, and we'd all just gouge out our own eyes.
That would make me pretty sad. I mean, I do see people off-roading the Durango, but it isn't. It's not completely legit.
Yeah.
All right, Coy. The next one's you.
The Toyota 4x4 van wagon. I love these. They don't make these anymore and couldn't because of front crash safety standards and things.
Right.
Yeah.
It looks like
Anytime
whatever, it looks like whatever you hit would just go up over the top of you, and you just keep on trucking, right?
looks like your legs would get cut off to me. So if you've never seen a Toyota 4x4 van wagon, these were late 80s and I think 1990, and they kind of Isuzu tow truck style where the front tire, you're actually sitting directly above the front tire and your feet in the floor well space is actually in front of the front tire. So they take a little bit of getting used to, and they turn really sharp. And they do off-road. I use that loosely, but in like a Subaru off-roading kind of situation, they do quite well, probably better than most Subarus. And I think they seat 7 people. Like they have quite a bit of seating.
I was gonna say you're not gonna rock crawl in that with that approach angle.
No, you're not going to rock crawl, but I mean, if you're the waterfall, go look at some petroglyphs kind of person, this is going to do better than any Subaru. I'm pretty
Easy.
sure these had a low range.
Easy to sleep in. Also,
Well, these have held up really well in the resale value department. If you go look these up, they'll have 250,000 miles, and somebody will want 10 grand for it.
oh my goodness.
Because yeah, everybody wants to make them into that van life stuff. So.
Well, speaking of Toyotas and four-wheel drive stuff, we've got Toyota's all-track lineup. So Toyota sold this four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive setup for several vehicles: the Celica, the Camry, the Privia, the Corolla, and the RAV4. So I couldn't find any cool pictures of anything other than the Celica. So here's a picture of a car while we're talking about off-road rigs.
So the
The
Reese
Cel-
Millen Castrol Celica.
yeah, the Celica was very competitive in rally.
Yes.
Did super good, and these were pretty hot street cars as well. If you had the money to afford something like this back in the day.
Yeah, if they had made a ton of these like they had WRXs, I mean, imagine seeing an overlanded out Ultra Celica with the roof rack, little lift kit, turbocharge,
Yeah,
3S GTE.
it would look like this.
Honestly, probably. The next one on our list is Zuzu Via Cross.
Yeah, I'm glad you put this one on the list, Coy.
I love these. I love these. I mean, I've always wanted one of these. They're so wildly unpractical. There's no way I'll ever have one, but I've
Yeah.
always wanted one.
Super weird. This is what happens when you bring a concept car to market without changing anything on it.
I actually think these were a homologation vehicle for the Dakar stuff.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that for sure, but for some reason that's in my head that they made these never with the intention of selling well. They just wanted to build a crazy Dakar class car and beat everybody, so they just produced X amount of these.
Gotcha. Well, from what I understand, they're legit off-road vehicles with low range and good drivetrain and things like that, but not a lot of space in them at all. They sold in very low production numbers, like Koi's saying.
They have this. I don't know if your kids watch. You have little kids and they watch Action Heroes. It looks like something one of those guys would pull up to the scene of an emergency in the Antarctic or something. It's kind of sports car esque looking, but then 4-wheel drive. They have a unique look that's really cool.
Well, the last one is a Toyota 4Runner with a removable top. Yeah. I had to give a really long dramatic pause there. Wait for people to yell at the podcast as they're listening to it driving their car. They already have a Toyota 4Runner.
You just lit up the Forerunners of Washington Facebook group right now. They're like, they don't think Forerunners made.
How dumb are they?
God, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
Can you come pull me out?
Oh man, so we talked about it before the show. There's only a couple rigs that have removable tops currently, and that would be like the Wrangler and the Bronco.
In the off-road department, there are some sports cars with removable tops, but they're not.
Yeah,
a little different.
yes.
But yeah, Toyota needs to get back in the off-road game, and I know the 4Runner is their off-road flagship, but even as myself being a Toyota guy, the new 4Runners saying they're an off-road vehicle is meh. So I think a two-door removable top 4Runner should be the new Trail Hunter. You heard it here. That's my forecast.
You're forecasting that the Trail Hunter Edition is going to remove the tops.
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of doing a rain dance here, hoping that I can will this into existence by saying it.
Okay. And we got a late entry here. Nicholas Dooley suggests no Hilux. Sorry, I tuned in late. And I think that was one that was on my radar, and I didn't write it down, but I've talked about this several times. I feel like
I thought we were just doing stuff in America, is why I didn't scream out a 70 series Toyota.
Yeah. So
go ahead, Aaron.
Well, so what I was going to say is I feel like any manufacturer could bring back a small pickup truck like Ford is doing. Unfortunately, Ford's doing it in unibody, but I feel like any manufacturer could bring back a small, efficient pickup truck that's super small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I would really like to see. Just those single cab,
Yes.
6-foot bed, 5-foot bed.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to get you guys some shirts and hats from this campaign I'm running called Make Trucks Mini Again.
I love it.
Are you? Is that going to be the next shirt that you guys launch?
I don't know. I actually
would be-
don't even know what our next shirt is.
That would be a good one. I'll have to reach out to Andy and suggest it as my own idea.
But if we are doing overseas stuff, I got to say the 70 series Toyota, whether it's the Ute or the, 4-door or
Aren't they
whatever
still
it is.
making? Aren't they still making that though?
Are they?
I thought that you could still buy a 70 series. At least a couple years ago, you could.
A couple years ago, Toyota made like 2,000 more, but I think that was more of a stunt than anything. I don't think you can buy them new now.
I thought they were
I'd
still
just love
selling
to have
them
one.
to like NGOs or whatever that term is for people who drive around Africa and do
Oh,
stuff.
well, yeah, they still make a lot of stuff in like Brazil and weird places that makes no sense, but who knows?
Yeah, where they still make the Volkswagen Bug or something.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, Brent suggests the Nissan Patrol if we're talking about overseas stuff. I'd like to see like a Y62, I think is the model number on that, which would be very competitive with the 70 series Land Cruiser.
Did you just put T100 Toyota pickups on here?
Yeah, I did.
You literally chose the least reliable Toyota of all time. Why would we bring that mark of shame back? It's not even nice.
Well, thanks for everybody who listens to us weekly, and also to those who watch us live on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch, which I didn't see any Twitch streamers there today. If you make sure you go check us out on Twitch. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. It really does help us out. Please share this show with your friends and help us grow. And God bless America.
Don't forget to visit Patriot Patch and join the Patch of the Month Club. Check out our Gaia affiliate link for up to 40% off. Also, don't forget to head over to Warren and Power Tank to see all of their great gear. We are a proud part of the Firearms Radio Network. Got a question or comment? Send it to us through our webpage at firearmsradio.tv or through our social media channels by searching for Off-Road Podcast. Also, you can listen to us live at overlandradio.com, Mondays at 7 p.m. Pacific. When off-road, please remember to have fun, tread lightly, be safe and courteous, and thanks for listening.